What is happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back, and we're back talking a little bit of transfers. Didn't think we'd be speaking about the main topic in particular, the one that's taken over the thumbnail, the one that's taken over the main part of the title. But we've been, well, heavily linked now with Gus Hamer. And this is someone who I've been talking about that I wish I'd see be linked with a Premier League move or a move to another, another league because he's too good for the champ. Well, it looks like Leeds tried to dip their toe in there, and we're going to speak about that. Also going to give an update on Manor Solomon. But listen, people, I'm surprised that I'm still live with internet. My internet is changing tomorrow, as you guys know, and I thought it would have been cut off by now. I'm still here. I'm still here for now. But look, everything should be sorted by tomorrow. Everything's up in the air right now. But look, I'm here. And while I'm live, if I get cut off, I'll go onto my phone. You know how it goes. Like Will says here, if you're waiting, smash a like. It's free. Listen, people, like, subscribe, drop your comments below. We got a few things to discuss today. Also going to speak about rival business in terms of Burnley. Big changes there, and we're going to speak about that. And it's all good. SSJW saying afternoon. Well, it's evening for me, but listen, morning, afternoon, night, wherever you are around the world, it's all good. Russ saying it's such a good feeling knowing Leeds are backing Chris Wilder's good books. Look, you know what? Even if nothing comes of it, can you imagine the next interview he's going to have? Oh, he's going to give us some sound bites for sure. For sure, he's going to say something. Muppets from Leeds and all that. Low ball. We'll see. Everyone in there talk about like, okay, yep, Solomon. So yeah, listen, people, and thank you to Count Bishops and Mr. P for the super thanks in the last video. Much appreciated, people. And listen, thanks to all my existing members. Membership link is in the description or is next to the subscribe button called join. And evening to everyone. So listen, let's get into the main event of the video. Let me not go over time today, just in case my internet does get cut off for the remainder of the evening. But listen, the star literally broke maybe an hour ago that Leeds United have recently had a bid rejected for Sheffield United key man, and he is a key man. I've been speaking about him all summer. I said I need him out this league. Well, Leeds United are trying to keep him in this league and bring him to Ellen Road. And apparently the bid was £13 million. Now, I know from just myself, that's lowballing, and that's why I've put insulting bid in the title, because we was never going to get our rival's best player for 13 million. By the way, even though it wouldn't have applied to us, his relegation contract release clause has expired. So that doesn't even count. And by the way, that clause was only for teams above us. So it wouldn't have counted for us. So say Palace had bid for him for whatever it would have been, 18 million. It would have to be accepted by Sheffield United because that's the clause. But if we had bid 18 million, they wouldn't have to accept it because we're in the same division. So I hope that's clear for everybody. But we have tried to go in for Gus Hamer, who's obviously a tremendous player for me. I've already said he's just a near complete midfielder, long range shot, great range of pass, set pieces, key, a key cog in there, and you can just see him just fitting in lovely into that number 8 spot. Oh, I can see it. But we've gone in for 13 million. SSJW saying, what would you say is a fair price then? I don't know. And I'll be real with you, I don't know, because first of all, I think if he was being sold to a club in a different division for a start, I think that Sheffield United probably say to him, okay, fair enough, because you shouldn't be playing championship football, much like some of the players that we've had or currently have. They shouldn't be playing at this level. So I think they would probably try and make arrangements for him. They'd be gutted to lose him. But to lose him to Leeds United, I think we're paying some extra local tax on that, big time. So I couldn't tell you. Maybe it would be something over 20. Maybe it would be something over 20, man. But at 27 years old, people, and the fact that he can adapt to the Premier League, which we've already seen in his stint with Sheffield United last season, if you can do a deal for him, please go back in for him. Because at the moment, what I tell you what it feels like is that it feels like we've put in a bid just to say, hey, we tried. But I've said to you on this channel so many times, you don't get points for trying. Get the job done. And if we do only put in this one bid of 13 million that's been rejected and don't go back, that's pretty much what it looks like for me, because Leeds United are smart people. People running Leeds United would know we are not getting Gus Hamer for 13 million pounds. It's just not going to happen. So, I mean, Callum here mentioning Bogle. I'm hoping that it's going to be one of those situations, because we did low ball them with Jaden Bogle as well. I hope that it's one of these where we keep going in before Friday's deadline, because obviously everything shuts on Friday, people. I hope we go back in for another one just to show the intent. Because for me, if it's 13-1 and done, this is just like it's PR basically. And I hope no one falls for it if it's just the one bid, because anyone with a common sense would know we're not getting in for 13 mil. Uh, yeah, Jamie saying, yeah, bang on. It feels like a we try bid cage. Yeah, yeah. It is a joke. It is a joke, Jamie. It would be like someone coming in for, Sheffield United coming in for 13 million for, I don't know who we got, Willie Nonto. Much like that. It would be something like that for me. Let's have a look. And in terms of Gus Hamer, it just makes you think, doesn't it? I know that he was there for Jaden Bogle at the game at Ellen Road, first game of the season against Portsmouth. But hey, I've been in the bits where players and families, the media all like kind of mix. It's a very, very tight space. Who's to say that one of our people didn't see Gus Hamer and say, "Hey, how you feeling about your situation? Do you like what you see today?" You know what I mean? It could be one of those. You never know. Um, but but look, it goes without saying for me, I would absolutely love this to happen. I mean, it's not even close for me. You make this happen. We're talking top two. I think we're good for top two, pretty much with a few more additions. But he is a game changer, and he comes in at the number 8 spot, and it's his. Like, there's no questions, no doubts. He signs on a permanent deal. He is our number 8, and it's not even close as well. Andrew saying his release clause was 18, but it's ended now. Yeah, yeah. And look, and again, just again for people that have joined late, that 18 million would not have applied to Leeds United because we're in the same division. It would have been for clubs in higher leagues, not the same league. So once again, if Bournemouth had bid 18 mil, they would have had to have it accepted. If we had bid 18 mil, they wouldn't have to accept it. So yeah. SSJW saying, I mean, KG, if we manage to secure Gus Hamer, it's a perfect transfer. We weaken a promotion rival and strengthen ourselves. Perfect on both fronts. Yeah, listen, it would be, but I just don't see it happening unless we up this bid and make it something more acceptable. And also, as well, people won't like this part, but we need Gus Hamer to make a bit of noise. You know what I mean? Because by all accounts, he seems to be very happy at Sheffield United. But if he can, him and his agent, shake the trees a little and say, you know what? We're coming to the end of the window and we really want you to, consider this offer from Leeds United. That's another way to help get this deal done. But look, once again, if we've only put in the one bid, then it's kind of a non-story for me. Because then we might as well just put in a 13 million bid for Cristiano Ronaldo while we're at it as well. One of those. Go for Nico Williams as well from Bilbao. Put in a 10 million offer for him. It's just empty platitudes, isn't it? So show intent, go back in for him, and let's see what goes on. You know what I mean? But you know what? Hopefully we got another update on this one. I hope that this isn't the only time I'm speaking about this. I hope we go back in again and go get this player because he's immense, Premier League ready. I mean, and it goes without saying as well. And everyone talk about Chris Wilder. I'm going to be looking out for his next press conference, man, because I know he's going to mention something about this. And FV just saying this here: we have to pay the money to get the quality. Absolutely, you get what you pay for, don't you? You absolutely get what you pay for. So let's see if we go back in for him, people, and we'll come back in with another update, hopefully before this transfer deadline. Before we speak about Manor Solomon, I'm just gonna go on to rival news, rival watch, because Burnley at the minute, people, are they're being say torn apart. That's probably a little bit strong, but we've already seen loads of reports talking about Burnley's situation where players are sitting out of games because they're looking for moves and everything else, only having so many players available. Well, at the moment, their captain and good player in this division has to be said, Josh Brownhill, is being a subject to many bids, a lot of interest with just 1 year left on his deal. And it looks like Trabzonspor, sorry, in Turkey, tried to get him for around 4 million euros, which is about 3.5 million pounds. Burnley have rejected that bid this evening, but there may be other bids coming in for him before the deadline. So you can imagine Burnley would want to keep this player for the year, help get him back up, and then say, you know what, you've earned your move, your free move away. Good luck to you. But if he's making noise, to say, look, I want to explore other deals, especially for teams playing in Europe, they may be, hard to keep hold of him. And Josh Brownhill is a key cog of that team. He's not the only one though. Uh, this evening, Tavolieri has said that Mike Trezor has got interest from Nice, so that's going to be another one to look for. It's a loan move, I think. Let me just translate the post on the basis with a loan with an option to purchase. So that's another player that could be out the door. But then obviously the main one would be this one coming up. Uh, Incomings for them is Hannibal from Manchester United. I think that's going to be a permanent deal now. It was initially a loan, but I think it's turned into a permanent deal. Sarmiento, who we know of from the last couple of years, and Jaden Anthony. You know, surprise, surprise. The worst thing, though, for me with the Jaden Anthony thing, and this is the kicker. Alex Crook is reporting. This is crazy to me. This is a mad one. Jaden Anthony on his way from Bournemouth to Burnley, loan initially with a 10 million obligation if they go up, led by Scott Parker. That is crazy to me. But you know what? If Burnley get promoted, what they'll probably think is 10 million is a low price to pay in order for someone to help out their squad to help them get promoted. I kind of get that, but I would absolutely not hate, that's a strong word. I wouldn't like to be tied to Jaden Anthony on the return to the Premier League because for me, he's not a Premier League player. He barely looked half decent for us last year. I felt he was very underwhelming. He didn't get a lot of opportunities, but for me, he didn't. He was nowhere near the level of even James for me. James Nonto nowhere near Somerville. So so for me, it's a very interesting one for Burnley, and it just kind of shows. I don't know if it's a panic buy. They would probably say it's not, but they're losing players, and look what they're having to do to secure players. Get Jane Anthony on loan, 10 million obligation if he goes up. Crazy stuff. Matt C saying Anthony to score against us in a couple of weeks. Probably. 10 million obligation to buy is daylight robbery. Yeah. When you're in a position though where you're starting to lose players and we're coming to the end of the window, like we say, ends on Friday. Sometimes you have to do these deals, and that's just what I just hope with this football club, that we don't leave everything too short, too late, and then that we get scuppered into it. And we'll talk about that in a bit with Manor Solomon. Yeah, and also as well, Trafford. I don't know if James Trafford has played this season yet. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, he's another young prospect that could be leaving. I think it's Newcastle that want him on loan with the obligation to buy next season, much like they did with Lewis Hall. So yeah, there's a lot of movement, a lot of moving parts at Burnley. But for me, I still, well, it depends. If they lose Brownhill and a couple of others like that, I don't know if top two is so secure for them, but it's going to be very interesting to see what their squad looks like come the end of Friday. Also, um, yeah, J Dog saying these next few days are going to be crazy. Yeah, it's going to be mad. Let me just see before we go on to the Manor Solomon news. I still want that Gus Hamer one. I can't get it off my mind. Honestly, I can't get it off my mind. Um, okay, right. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. And just as well, by the way, just on that Gus Hamer stuff, just mad that we've got our local reporters talking about Liam Cooper and Patrick Bamford. Meanwhile, other clubs are talking about deals and everything else that Leeds United are possibly doing. It just shows you just how little access that the local media have got with the football club. And some would say that's a problem, but I think it's good. But it just shows you how much they're scraping for articles and news when it comes to the football club now. Do the 49ers need a more open line of communication? It hasn't served them well so far. So I guess they would figure that it probably doesn't do them any favors doing it. But yeah, SSJW saying, I don't blame you, KG, because Harvey would be great. It would be a magnificent. McAllister Bishop with a fair swap here. Bamford swap for Harmer. Yeah. I mean that article, I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to speak about it. But Danny Farker just talking up what Bamford brings to the team, etc. Blah blah blah. Um, No, FB White's asking, is that why Sheffield United got O'Hare? I felt like they want to pair them both, but if they were to lose Harmer, then Callum O'Hare is decent at this level. But I think preferably they want to keep Harmer in the 8, O'Hare in the 10, and pair them off. But yeah, I think that move would have been made in just in case Harmer was sort like taken off him, because he should be playing at a higher level. There's no doubt about it, but we'll just see if anyone else comes in for him. But more importantly, we'll see if Leeds go in for him. But listen, let me just see. Let's go back on to Manor Solomon, Because I tell you what, the last time I did the video on this, I thought this would have been done and dusted by now. Apparently, the medical is all done, so there's no issues with the medical. But the person that broke it, which is Paul O'Keefe, he obviously is being hounded on Twitter in terms of in terms of this deal. But he's just the latest update I can give you is just from his tweets because person here, I don't know if they're a Tottenham or Leeds fan, are just asking, what are the chances it happened? I tend to find Levy is a fantastic businessman, but also the master of his own downfall sometimes. And he's replied, totally agree. Someone else has said Leeds should walk away, but then he's replied, it's just an example, but it's just an example. But if you were a chairman, you'd be looking at every scenario. And with that, with what he said there, I just wonder if Daniel Levy is almost looking at this in like the Jaden Anthony thing, where they're saying, you know what, actually, if you guys get promoted, we need you to take him for a certain fee. And you just wonder if anything like that's happening, because usually with every deal, the personal detail, personal terms, everything, the financials are done before the medical. But sometimes in deals, and we've seen a few throughout the summer, and I can't think of them from the top of my head, they do fall apart after the medical's done. And then it's like, oh, we need you to do this, or this wages there that you've agreed, we need you just to take a little more. So I don't know, from Paul O'Keefe, the way that he's saying it, it sounds like the delay might be from the Spurs side. And it will be interesting to see once it's completely done, if there's been anything additional, whether it be extra wages that we're taking on, or if there is a buy option that Tottenham have, insisted be inserted. Um, let's have a look. Simpia saying tremendous name. Not thrilled Spurs using Leeds United as a fitness experiment for their dodgy player. And Paul saying Daniel Levy is a tough negotiator. He is. He is a tough negotiator for sure. But this, for me, this deal should have been done. And I think I did the video. What day was it? It was Saturday night. I thought this thing would have been done by Sunday. We heard that there was a delay then, and it's like, okay, what details are this? But we don't know. And Paul O'Keefe, who has been at the center of this transfer, breaking it and everything else, he doesn't know. But he seems to, just going from his tweets, thinks it's from the Tottenham side. And Sid here, thank you for becoming a member of the channel, my man. Much appreciated for your support. Thank you for that. Let's have a look. Russ in the house. Just hope we don't get a kick in the gonads, being as we're apparently bidding for some actual quality. Let's hope we can sign a couple. Yeah, I mean, look, there's all kind of loose links around for other players that I'm not going to discuss on here because there's no legit sources to it. But every play that we've been linked to so far has been one where I haven't looked at it and gone, oh, these are players that you think they can make a difference. And even Manor Solomon with his, and me and somebody else in the comments in the last video were talking about it. In terms of his injury record, it is a worry for me. Not going to lie to you. A meniscus injury, knee injury before that. It's like, oh, is he going to last the championship season? And what happens basically every time he gets a tough tackle in this division, you're going to think, oh, is he out? Is he okay? He's going to be one of those for Manor Solomon. But when he's on the ball, when he's finding space, when he's shooting from range, he is going to be an asset if he does still come here. But even the other players that we've been linked to that I've heard of, these are good players to have at this level, but they have to be the right deals. And as we come to the end of the window, people, clubs will figure that we're desperate and try and insert things. And maybe that's what Tottenham are doing. I guess we'll find out once the deal is done or maybe called off and we get more information on it. But yeah, look, we'll have to see in regards to Manor Solomon. Hopefully it's tied up soon, because it has been going on for quite some time just for a straight up loan, because there's no obligation to buy, no option to buy. We've taken on a significant portion of the wages. Don't know what the holdup is. He's passed the medical by all accounts. This should have been done. So it will be interesting to find out the update on that. DJ Beza saying difference maker if you put the 20 mil or so, get it done. Who's that for, Beza? Are you talking about for Solomon or for Hamer? Let me know. James here saying sounds like Leeds have multiple targets, but they're waiting for the right ones to get done. Yeah. Hey, listen, you should always have targets. You got to have a couple. You always have your A plus one that you want, the one that will make the difference, but you got to have backup options big time. You can't just go in just for one. We've done that before, people. Remember the whole Dan James scenario? We was all in for Dan James. That falls apart. There's no backup. You can't do that. That's not sensible business. You have to have other options on the table for sure. And Dino saying they may be waiting to announce 2 or 3 at the same time. I don't think so, man. You know what? I don't think so in terms of of this football club, just the way that we do things. I think that the 49ers and everyone else, they read stuff, they know what's going on, they will want to announce things straight away. They won't want to delay it or put it off for any reason. These guys want people to know that they are active and doing things. And I think as soon as they have a player signed in the building, they would announce it pretty much straight away. I think you always find as well, since the 49ers took over, our deals get announced at like 9, 10 o'clock. I don't know whether that's the time difference or whatever, but they get announced pretty late at night, don't they? And you see me come on, hey guys, we've got a signing to announce. It's me wiping sleep out my eye and stuff. But yeah. um let's have a look here. But yeah, so people, that is it for now. That is it. I can see all the names, guys. All those names, I'm not going to mention him on my channel because there's been no legit sources talking about him. So until there's something a bit more concrete, I'm going to leave those names alone, because I don't know why that one name in particular keeps on getting mentioned. It makes no sense to me. But yeah. Yeah. Listen, Andy here asking, apart from Verba, do you envisage any other surprise leavers? Who's to know, Andy? Who's to know? Nobody knows. No one's got a clue. I still think there's a chance that if we do sign, we sign someone like Gus Hamer, then Joe Gelhardt may as well go. There's no point keeping him around. Even though they're playing separate positions, which I'm fully aware of, it just means that there's going to be less and less game time for him, because he'd either play the 8 or he would be the first option to play in the 10. So for me, it wouldn't surprise me if Joe Gelhardt is moved out on a loan. I can imagine that. But who's to know, people? We don't know. We don't know. Look, Premier League clubs will be getting desperate too. And you've seen Palace at the minute. They're doing okay, but they're losing a lot of players. Who's to say that? And I'm not putting that out there, people. I'm just saying, though, just go with me here. Who's to say they don't come in and try and get a Pascal Strap? They've accumulated a lot of money. Who's to say they don't try and make a bid for him or something like that? You just never know. So I wouldn't want to tell you that everything is secured at the football club. No one else is going to leave. It's a matter of wait and see. And like Verba as well, we have to wait and see with that one as well to see if Gladbach come back in for him. But yeah, listen, people, I'm going to leave it there in terms of that. Just like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop your comments below on anything discussed today, and I'll see you in the next video for the next update, people. Leeds, go back in for Hamer. Please do that. I need that. We need that. Goodbye.